Yotzmin Gardeners.
Hi, my name is Nathan.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Rachel.
So, all right, now it's time for our Channel of the Week segment. And this week we are joined by Joseph Koslowski of Garden State Gardener. Hey,
Hi,
Joseph.
everyone.
How are you doing? It's really awesome to have you here on our show with us this week. Thanks for jumping in and filling in too.
Well, I was expecting to come in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden you need some help. I'm like, sure, I could do it. But I Uber on it part-time. And last night, so I start my day off. I do medical billing as my other job. And I work 7:30 to 5 o'clock. And then I Ubered all the way till 3:30. And then I had to ride to the airport at 5. And so then I went to bed at 7. And I'm like, let's go. We're going to get growing today. I can't wait for the show.
That is so awesome. Again, really glad that you were able to fit us into all of that busy life that you have there. But we all got to do what we need to do, right?
That's right.
That's
and thank you for everybody coming. That's I see a lot of people like Arsenic Element, Brampton Gardener, a lot of people that go on my show on Sunday, Ben Genetics, Idaho Garden Girl, Wicked Awesome Gardening. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yes, it's awesome to see all of them in our comment section here. And hopefully everybody will jump in and ask some questions that we can also ask of you here during this interview. But first thing I want to dig into, Joe, is just a little bit about your garden story. What got you into gardening and putting your garden on YouTube?
Okay, well, I started gardening when I was 5 years old. And I remember my mom would have a big garden. I grew up next to a farm too. And so my mom, I remember getting yelled at for the first time when I was 5 years old, holding a sprayer, pouring full jet stream at the vegetables. And it was like, my mom, stop, you can't do that. And it's funny because when I started my son off, he did the same exact thing. I'm like, stop. And so when I really got into gardening, it was probably around 8 years old. And my neighbor would come on over and talk to me about gardening. And my father always gave me a great piece of advice. He goes, if somebody talks to you, make sure you look them in the eye and pay attention to everything they say, because they're important to you. You should be important to them. So make sure you listen. They don't have to talk to you. And so my neighbor was in his 70s at the time. He was that little Polish accent. And I would listen to everything he says. And he always talked to me about gardening. And I always listen. And then they made this greatest iced tea. I have no idea. It had straw in it and a whole bunch of other stuff. Maybe a little liquor. I have no idea. But I was a little kid and we just drank water. And I'm like, you grew up as a kid. You were outside the whole time, you know? And so you're like, oh, what do I want to drink? So I went for the iced tea. I went up the hill and I'm like, oh man, I hope they have iced tea. And it was, and I would go up there to talk to me about gardening. And I just kept on learning and then putting stuff into, like I always say, put something in your pocket, right? You learn something, put it in your pocket. And if you like it, you like it. You don't. You know, you always learn. Just like in sports, you learn. It doesn't matter. Farmers, you always learn. Doesn't matter what age you are.
That's right. Well, that's awesome that you got to get into gardening from such a young age. That's something I kind of wish that I had when I was growing up, especially after, I got older and started learning more about gardening and growing food for myself and all of that was, man, I really wish I would have gotten into this just a little bit younger. But, it's awesome to hear about how that was for you too. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you really enjoy growing in your garden each year.
Tomatoes and peppers is my favorite. Just like most of us, tomatoes and peppers, you can't wait to get into. Last year, I tore my Achilles tendon right when I was ready to bring everything out. So I was going to grow 300 varieties of tomatoes. And I'm like, had everything started, had everything outside. And then I tore my Achilles tendon and I haven't made it outside since.
Oh my.
So my whole last year, was a disaster. The year
Oh no.
before, my son came down with cancer.
Oh,
And
really?
so here I had everything growing, and it was, I had a great season going. Everything was growing great. And then he was, yeah, he was in a hospital for 44 days. He had surgery, and it was, it's been a journey with him. But my son's
Yeah.
okay. But growing organic's
Yeah.
very important. So that's what I try to concentrate on.
Yeah.
A nice,
Well,
nice balance, organic fertilizer, and grow it that way because it's, it's
yeah,
our
it's the
food.
way to go.
It's
It's
the
the
way.
way to go for sure. And really sorry to hear about your son and all of that too. I hope that he's doing really well too by now.
It's a journey. We still have a lot of stuff to work. Right now, we got the mass out, which was very important. Which was his mass was on arteries of his heart,
Oh,
and it was the largest mass ever recorded.
oh,
So it's very sim. It's called Castleman disease. It's very similar to Hodgkin's disease, and
yeah, yeah,
and there's different variations of it, and
yeah.
it's been hard. But right now, his diaphragm is paralyzed because they hit the phaneric. I always mess that term up. Nerve,
Yeah.
and so that paralyzes diaphragm, and so we're dealing with that now. So it's one thing, it's another. But I got a good boy. He's very special. He's a
All
great
right.
boy.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Well, from all of us here at Let's Get Growing, we really wish you all the best there too when it comes down to that. Bless all of your hearts and hope the best when it comes to that situation. Now, how about some of your plans? Because you were telling me you've got some plans for this year's garden and what you've got growing on in your garden this year.
Yeah, let me show you two things I do. When I start my seeds, right?
Yeah.
A couple. I never seen people do this. I start them off in a jiffy
Oh,
green
yeah.
set,
Okay.
something very simple. Then I put them
All right.
in the solo cup. But what I do is I use these labels.
All
So
right.
I'll go like 1 of 3, and I diagram it, and then I put it right here on a corner. And so it'll go down this whole side. And then I use this tape to make sure it doesn't get wet, because if it gets wet, it smears. If you put the tape over it, it doesn't smear. And so and then I take a book log, and then I'll put everything in a book. So I'm starting seeds tonight. So I can't wait to start seeds. And so that's very, very important. And then, when you're growing so many, especially peppers, I've been collecting these. I go to the dollar store and I get something like this, and I put them next to the plant and I label it. And the most important thing is make sure when you use your Sharpie, like I use fade resistant Sharpies, and then you put where you get your seeds from and the plant, and this will last forever.
Oh,
And
yes.
so you keep on collecting them, sooner or later, you're good. Because everybody
Yeah.
puts these other labels in the ground, you know, uh, these things and things.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I label on the outside, because when you close the Jiffy thing up,
Yeah.
these labels always get in the way, right?
Yep. Yep.
Well,
That's
when
right.
you label on the outside, you never need these.
Yeah, I really like
And
that idea with the dollar store label there too, giving a
yeah,
more permanent idea too. And then similar with those type of plastic labels like you're talking about, even with those Sharpies, I still find that they fade out by mid-season and you're wondering again, what in the world did I plant in this space? So that's a really good idea to
the,
utilize something like that.
these are awesome. I'm so happy. You just got to make sure you use the right marker. Don't use
Right.
a cheap Sharpie. Make sure you use something fade resistant, like the ones I just
Yeah.
showed. And I mean,
Yeah.
these work amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there forever. And whatever you want to put, you scratch it out or use the other side. And this works awesome.
All right.
Oh,
Well, it looks like we have a question for you from our audience here. Let's see. Oh, we got a question in from Michelle. Do you have anything growing right now, or do you have to wait for warmer weather?
my main thing right now is cleaning up my garden because all the mess last year. So I'm just more or less getting ready for seed starting right now. My peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini. Um, that's what I'm gonna be starting soon. Of course, you start your hot peppers first. The hotter the pepper, the more general, the longer term it has to grow.
Yeah.
We don't plant until the 15th of May.
Yeah.
So, and you know, if you
Sounds
put
like
tomatoes or peppers in the ground, they're just stunting your plant if you don't grow them in a warm enough temperature, warm enough
yeah.
soil. So,
Yeah.
May 15th, we had a freeze 2 years ago around the 26th,
Yeah.
of May. So
Yeah.
you just
So
got to
did
be
we
very
here
careful.
too. Sounds like you got a pretty similar situation that we have here too. May 15th is about our last frost date here as well. And I'll probably be getting all of my pepper plants getting started here probably within this next week so that we can get a good like 8 to 10 weeks of growth indoors before we get them planted outdoors for our season.
Now, with my hot peppers, I'm growing 650 varieties of hot peppers.
That's a lot.
And so I've been collecting from
Oh,
here.
wow.
And let me show you some things. Now I seen you had Jimmy Pickles on,
Yeah.
jppepperseeds.com.
Yeah,
he's
Jimmy's
a good
great.
guy. And I pretty much have every single pepper he has.
Oh, nice.
And
He's got quite a collection too.
I'm so excited. I mean, I can't wait to grow these because they're all isolated. So you're
Yeah.
getting the right seed, right? A lot of other
Yep.
companies, they don't have that.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting a pepper seed and you want to really grow this pod and you get to the point where they're starting to produce them and you find out that they don't produce the pods you were looking for. There's nothing more disappointing than getting the wrong type of seed than what you were looking forward to. And that's one of the things that's really great about Jimmy's pepper shop is that he isolates all of his seeds. And this last year, we grew out his Primatali peppers that he had to grow out the hottest pepper for a contest that I was in. So it was really good to get seeds from him as well too.
Yeah, I tell you what, the seeds germinate great. I never had a problem germinating his seeds.
Yeah. Sounds like lots of rice. Any of those out of those are really some of your favorite peppers?
What's funny is I had diverticulitis.
Oh,
So I got to be careful when I have
right.
peppers right out of the garden. So I
Yeah.
got to make sure I either chop them up. I love jalapenos. I love all orange spice, the ones from Baker's Creek, the orange spice, pumpkin spice, all those jalapenos. Oh, they make a great
Yeah.
salsa. You kind of combine those all together. It's amazing. What a color when you have all those jalapenos, and they're all different have levels of heat too. So it's like you
Yeah.
taste this. Oh, that's not bad. Also, next one. Whoa, a little hot. It's I love
Yeah.
it. And the Primatali, I seen the Primatali video of your friend trying the Primatali. That's hot.
Oh man.
That's in the top three. That's in the top
Yeah,
three.
I couldn't believe that he volunteered to do that. And I'll tell you what, I'm not the type to go and be eating those level of heat when it comes to peppers. It was awesome to have him on our live stream to try those out, but I've never in my life seen tears shoot out of somebody's face before like that. I'm telling you, it is something to check out. You have to go back onto my for anybody watching who wants to see that, go back onto my YouTube channel page, my video page, and or the live page for that live stream, and check that out. It was a really fun video.
Now, Edic, the best thing, everybody can have hot peppers. And the best
Yeah,
way to do it is you dehydrate them. So,
yeah.
and then I put them in salt shakers.
Okay.
And like this is Brazilian starfish red. So
All
I
right.
use Jimmy's labels. I just take them off, put them on a salt shaker. You top it off, keep it fresh, off a tough label. Then you put the other one on, and you can have these anytime you want.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the way to go
Oh,
right
that's
there,
that.
huh? That way you
Oh,
could just make sure you're only getting just a little bit if you want a little bit, or you
exactly.
can really douse it on there if you're really looking to charge it up.
So Jimmy sent me all these powders to taste. I'm like, oh man, how am I going to do this? So I had a show called Pierogi Monday where I had the pierogies, and I tried all
Oh,
the peppers, all the things, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. I never knew it was going to be that good. And I'm
yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
I'm just like, everybody could have these hot peppers. Everybody should be trying these hot peppers because the culinary world has no idea what they're missing right now when they're
Right.
with the hot pepper powders. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one thing that's really missing.
Yeah, that was really kind of one of my first real loves in growing in the garden was all of the different varieties of peppers there were. And not only that, as I like to say, is that peppers, you've got all the really cool different pods, whether
Mhm.
you're growing from sweet to hot peppers, but the plants themselves are just really interesting. You know, all pepper varieties have a different temperament in the way that they grow. And so that's one of the fun things about growing peppers is the challenge of growing these different varieties of them. You know, so that's one of the things I love about it. I love growing peppers. Really exciting to see how you've got plans to get into your garden and grow 650 varieties. That's going to be
Yep.
quite, you got, that's got to, it takes quite a bit of space, huh?
So yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. And I'm also growing the sweet peppers too. You know, so out of the hot peppers, I'll grow like 3 plants each. So or somewhere as close to 2,000 hot pepper plants. And then from sweet peppers, um, because I heard you talk about the couple peppers that you liked,
Yeah,
like the Lesia pepper.
Leslie is delicious
I love this pepper.
and
I
just
think this
really
pepper
a
is totally
spectacular
awesome.
pods, just spectacular pods. Those things are just beautiful. That deep red, dark color. It's
I'm also
awesome.
I'm also trying to orange Lesia too.
Ooh, that one
So
I
I'm
haven't
looking
had
forward to that
before.
one.
I'm gonna have to try that one.
And the Marconi. I love the
Yeah,
Marconi.
yes. Marconis are good.
Oh, here's the one that you were talking about too. The
That's varsity.
Varsity.
Yes, those are so delicious. Again, another one with just such beautiful deep color. I love the pods. And that plant really just grew so well. Very productive.
And I like the King of the North. That grows
Yeah,
really good here in New Jersey. So
awesome.
and I have other ones, but and tomatoes. Um, I there's just one tomato. It's called the. I got these from Curtis Jackson. I don't know if you ever heard Curtis Jackson.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, anyway, the goat bag tomato. It is
Oh,
huge. It is, and it's like a paste tomato, but it's like almost a 2 pound tomato.
oh
Very
wow.
little seeds. It's great for
That is
sauce,
big.
and they only grow about 7 or 8 per plant. But they're like,
Yeah.
you look at it, and it's like, oh my god, I will always grow this tomato in my garden. Um, the Angelina's Heart is another great tomato. I love that tomato. The West Virginia sweetmeat,
Oh yeah.
another huge tomato, and Ahoy tomato. These are all from Curtis Jackson. I know it's not a good variation of. There's no pictures there.
Curtis T. Maters.
Yeah, pictures, tomatoes, and pictures.
That's right, right. He has so many great varieties too. I love seeing all of his pictures. I've got him on my Facebook, so he's
And
always
everybody
gets my
loves the Sun Gold
tomatoes.
tomato.
Oh yes.
That's a Sun Gold
That
select.
that has got to be probably one of the most popular tomatoes there is out there for sure.
And
Well,
I
that's
like growing a
awesome, Joe.
and I like growing a black cherry tomato too.
Yep.
And
I got
of course, a lot of others and stuff. So
awesome. Awesome. That's really great. Real quick, so tell us a little bit more about what you've got coming up for your channel this year.
well, for me, I love promoting channels. I promote channels every single day because I used to coach high school sports, right?
Okay.
And when you have that little guy, he's more important than the big guy because
Yeah,
sooner or later, that little guy is going to
I
gradually
agree.
build up, and that's the way I look at YouTube channels. I like supporting every single channel and let them grow. Let them grow with
Yeah,
me. Let them grow with the community.
that's right.
Welcome in Indiana Backyard Gardener. She's what a great gardener she is too. Anyway, I'm all about promoting channels. I think it's so much fun. I have my Sunday Fun Day show where I do an interview for about 40 minutes, and then I give away free seeds and yarn and hot sauce. I like hot sauce.
Oh yeah.
I love
Excellent.
I get those from Pucker, but I love helping people, and
Yeah.
whatever I could do to help people, in whatever way I can, I try to do. So
Yeah, that's
that's very important.
definitely one of the things I really like about your channel. It's why I put you on my list for channel of the week because that's exactly the sort of thing that we're looking to accomplish with this segment on our show is to bring up some of the smaller YouTube gardeners out there who've got some really great channels, who are out there sharing what they're doing and their experiences, and all the different things that they've got growing on. And it's just, it's just one of the things I love the most about the gardening community is our ability to connect with each other. And again, that's exactly what we're looking to do here. And again, it's been a real pleasure to have you here with us on our second channel of the week for our show here. And again, thank you again too for jumping in and getting in here last minute and being our channel of the week this week.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming and supporting me. I really appreciate that. And Charles, your sponsor, what a great guy he is.
Yeah.
I had his plant guard. Oh, it works outstanding. So
Yeah.
check out Charles. He's going to be at IV Organics. He's a great sponsor of Let's Get Grown. He is the sponsor of Let's Get Grown, right?
That's right. He is.
And check Charles out. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Joe, and bless you and your family. I hope you have a really, really great gardening season.
And thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, you got it.